Hello, in this video we'll be solving systems of linear equation by elimination. I have a previous video on how to solve it by substitution, another method, if you want to check that out. If not, let's get started with the steps. So first, we line up the equations. I like to line up my equations with the x in the same location and the y in the same location. That way, it's easier for step 2, where we need to multiply to see whether we need to match the coefficients. The third step is going to be to add or subtract the equations. The fourth is going to be solve for the remaining variable. The fifth is to substitute back. And sixth, we get our answer as x comma y. Let's tackle the first question. So we're going to start by lining up the equations so the x and the y are easier to see. So this equation is going to be 2x plus y equals 9. And then to have the x in the same place, we're going to move it slightly to negative 5x plus y equals negative 12. Now, as you can see here, this is the exact same equation, just written a little bit differently so it's easier to see. In this case, we don't have to multiply because y here is both 1. So let's start by subtracting. Because if we add, we're just going to end up with 2y and we're going to end up with some x's. So we're trying to get rid of a variable, so we're going to subtract instead. So let's subtract. We're going to do 2x plus y, subtract by this whole quantity, negative 5x plus y. I like to add parentheses to it because, as you can see, the negative signs can get a little bit confusing and they might cancel out. In this case, we're going to do 9 minus negative 12. So in this case, we're just subtracting this bottom equation from the top equation to get rid of the y's. We could also subtract the top from the bottom, as you can see. Either way, the y's will cancel out. So let's tackle the x's first. We have 2x here minus negative 5x, which turns into 2 plus 5x. And then we have 1y here minus y, so we're going to get plus 0y equals 9 plus 12. So this gives us 7x equals 21. Now, divided by both sides, get 7, we get x equals 3. Next, we're going to plug in x equals 3 into any one of these equations to find y. Let's just do the first one. 2 times 3 plus y equals 9. So we get 6 plus y equals 9, and we get y equals 3. So our answer is 3, 3. Now, to check our work, we have to plug in both the 0.33 into both of these equations, and both of them should work. So let's do 2 times 3 plus 3 equals 9. We get 6 plus 3 equals 9. Is correct. And let's check the one on the bottom. Y is 3 minus 5 times x, which is also 3, should give us negative 12. 3 minus 15 equals negative 12. Negative 12 equals negative 12. We know that's correct. Now, for this question, we'll follow the same steps. As you can see, our equation is already lined up for us. We have the x's lined up together, and we have the y's lined up together. Now, we'll see whether we need to multiply. In this case, we don't have to because we have negative 5 and 5 that can cancel out. And you might be asking, how do we know whether we should add or subtract? So we want to add or subtract to cancel out one of the variables. In this case, if we add negative 5 and 5 together, that makes 0. So we know in this case, we're going to add. So now let's get started with our adding. 4x minus 5y plus 2x plus 5y equals 3 plus 9. We see here we have 4x and 2x, which adds up to 6x. We have negative 5y plus 5y, which adds up to 0y, so just 0, which gives us 12. Divided by 6 on both sides, and we get x equals 2. Now let's plug in x equals 2 to any of the two equations to find y. So why don't we plug it into the first one? We get 4 times x, and x is 2, minus 5 times y equals 3. We get 8 minus 5y equals 3. We get negative 5y equals negative 5. So y is going to be 1. Now we have our solution, which is going to be 2, 1. And that's our final answer. Now, let's check our work. We should be able to plug in 2, 1 into both of these equations. Let's do that now. 4 times 2 minus 5 times 1 equals 3. We have 8 minus 5 equals 3. We get 3 equals 3, so we know the first one holds. Let's also check the second one. 2 times 2 plus 5 times 1 equals 9. So that's 4 plus 5 equals 9. 9 equals 9. So yeah, because we know that both of the equations hold, we know that 2, 1 is our answer. Now, let's do this question. As we can see, in this case, the x's are already lined up properly, and the y's are as well. But before we get to multiplying, is there anything we can do to potentially make our lives easier? The answer is yes. As you can see, 6 and negative 10 and negative 16 share a multiple of 2. So if we divide everything by 2, we can make this 3x minus 5y equals negative 8. So now when we compare these two equations, we can multiply by a slightly smaller number to get the same coefficients. As you can see, we can multiply x by 3 to get 3x. So let's do that. Multiplying by 3, we get 3x minus 12y equals 6. Now let's write it together so it's easier to see what we have to do. We'll write it, copy down the equation. 3x minus 5y equals negative 8. And 3x minus 12y equals 6. As you can see, we're going to subtract so we can cancel out the 3's. Let's do that now. 3x minus 5y minus 3x minus 12y equals negative 8 minus 6. So the 3's cancel out. 3 minus 3 is 0. And we get negative 5y plus 12y equals negative 14. That gives us 7y equals negative 14. Divide both sides by 7, and we get y equals negative 2. Now, let's plug in negative 2 for y into any of the equations to get x. Let's do this one because it seems a little bit easier. So we'll do x minus 4 times negative 2 equals 2. We get x plus 8 equals 2. So x is equal to negative 6. Our answer is going to be negative 6, negative 2. Now, let's check our work. We're going to plug in this value into the two original equations. Let's do 6 times negative 6 minus 10 times negative 2 equal to negative 16. So here we have negative 36 plus 20 equals negative 16. Of negative 16 equals negative 16. So we know that holds true. Now let's do the second equation. We can do x, which is negative 6, minus 4 times negative 2 equals 2. We have negative 6 plus 8 equals 2. 2 equals 2. So we know our final answer is negative 6, negative 2. And that's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching.